Most men are thermometers. They function as passive indicators of the environment around them. They walk into a room and they wait to be told how to feel. If the room is tense, they become tense. If their partner is anxious, they become anxious. If the boss is angry, they become defensive. They reflect the emotional temperature of their surroundings with perfect accuracy, believing that this reactivity is a form of empathy or awareness. But in the hierarchy of social dynamics, the thermometer is a subordinate device. It has no agency. It has no power. It simply reports the reality created by something else. A high-value man operates as a thermostat. A thermostat does not care what the temperature is outside. It has a set point. It detects that the room has become too cold, and it activates the heat. It detects that the room has become too hot, and it activates the cooling. It forces the environment to align with its internal reality. It is the dominant node in the system. The difference between a leader and a follower, between a man of power and a man of chaos, is simply this. One reacts to the atmosphere. The other creates it. Today we are discussing the physics of emotional contagion and why your inability to control your own state is the reason you feel suffocated by the emotions of others. To understand why you lose control in high-pressure situations, you must understand the hardware of the human brain. We are social animals, wired for herd survival. Nature needed a way to synchronize the group instantly, without language. If one monkey saw a predator, the entire troop needed to feel fear immediately to survive. Evolution gave us mirror neurons. These are specialized cells in the brain that fire not only when you perform an action, but when you observe someone else performing it. They are the biological basis of empathy, but they are also the biological basis of emotional contagion. When your partner, your colleague, or a crowd enters a state of high arousal, anger, panic, or hysteria, their nervous system is broadcasting a high-intensity signal. Your mirror neurons pick up this signal and attempt to replicate it within your own body. You literally catch their emotion like a virus. If you lack a strong internal frame, your nervous system is hijacked. You start shouting because they are shouting. You start panicking because they are pacing. You have lost your sovereignty. You have allowed an external variable to rewrite your internal code. This is the definition of frame collapse. The dynamic of the thermostat is based on the principle of state transfer. In any interaction between two people, the person with the strongest belief in their own reality wins. If her chaos is stronger than your calm, you will become chaotic. If your calm is stronger than her chaos, she will become calm. This is not magic. It is neurobiology. The human nervous system seeks homeostasis. It seeks stability. If you present a massive, immovable object of stability, the other person's scattered energy will naturally ground itself through you. But this requires you to be immovable. Most men fail this test because they misunderstand the nature of emotion. When a woman, or anyone in a high emotional state, presents a problem, the average man tries to fix it with logic. He pulls out facts. He explains why the fear is irrational. He offers a step-by-step solution. He is operating from his prefrontal cortex, the seat of logic. But the other person is operating from the amygdala, the seat of threat and emotion. You cannot reach the amygdala with logic. It is like trying to put out a fire with a math equation. When you try to use logic to fight emotion, you are signaling that you are affected. You are debating. You are defending. You are validating the chaos by engaging with it on its own level. This escalates the situation. The other person subconsciously thinks, if he is arguing with me, he must be rattled. If he is rattled, we are not safe. The temperature rises. You have failed to regulate the room because you let the room regulate you. To apply the thermostat mindset, you must master the art of co-regulation. This is the ability to use your own biology to calm another person down without saying a word. It starts with the breath. When an argument heats up, your breathing naturally becomes shallow and fast. This triggers your sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. The moment you notice the tension rising, you must consciously override this reflex. You force your breathing to slow down. You take deep, rhythmic breaths into the diaphragm. This does two things. First, it keeps your own prefrontal cortex online, allowing you to think clearly. Second, and more importantly, it sends a powerful biological signal to the other person. We unconsciously mimic the breathing patterns of those around us. If you remain dead calm and breathe slowly, their mirror neurons will pick up on that rhythm. Their heart rate will drop to match yours. You are literally pacing their nervous system. You are forcing them to calm down, not by ordering them to relax, which never works, but by being the anchor that stops the drift. This leads us to the concept of holding space. This is a term often misused in soft therapy circles, but in the context of the dark triad and high-status behavior, it means something very specific. It means remaining the gray rock against which the waves crash. When someone is throwing emotional shrapnel at you, accusations, tears, insults, you do not flinch. You do not counterattack. You do not withdraw. You simply stand there, present and unaffected. You look at them with a gaze that says, "I see you are upset, but your storm does not move my mountain." By refusing to react, you drain the energy from their chaos. Chaos requires fuel. It requires a reaction to sustain itself. If you provide no reaction, the fire burns itself out. Furthermore, by holding your frame, you demonstrate ultimate competence. You show that you are dangerous enough to handle their worst behavior without crumbling. This creates a deep, primal respect. People feel safe with a man who cannot be easily triggered. They may hate your indifference in the moment, but they will respect your strength in the long run. The danger lies in absorption. Many men believe that being a good listener means absorbing the emotions of the speaker. This is a fatal error. You can observe the storm without stepping into the rain. You must visualize a glass wall between you and the other person. You can see their distress, you can hear their words, but the emotional contagion hits the glass and slides off. You remain dry. This detachment allows you to offer genuine support because you are not drowning alongside them. A lifeguard cannot save a drowning swimmer if he panics and thrashes in the water with them. He must stay buoyant. Let us discuss the safe practices to implement this. The first is the grounding technique. When the emotional temperature of the room spikes, your mind tends to race into the future. You worry about the breakup, the firing, or the social embarrassment. You leave the present moment. To become the thermostat, you must stay in the now. The moment chaos starts, shift your entire focus to the soles of your feet. Feel the contact with the floor. Wiggle your toes. This simple physical act pulls your attention out of your racing thoughts and back into your body. It lowers your center of gravity. A man who is physically grounded is harder to push, both metaphorically and literally. The second practice is the conscious smile. This is a powerful tool for resetting the tone. When someone is aggressive or hysterical, they expect aggression or submission in return. When you offer a slight, calm smile, not a nervous grin, but a look of amusement or patience, you break the pattern. You signal that you do not view them as a threat. You signal that the situation is not a crisis, it is merely a situation. This confuses their threat detection system. They cannot classify you as an enemy or a victim.
You become the adult in the room. This shift often snaps them out of their loop and forces them to reevaluate their behavior. You must also be aware of the venting trap. People often use others as emotional trash cans. They dump their negativity on you to feel better, leaving you carrying the weight. A thermostat does not allow trash to accumulate. You can set boundaries on the temperature you are willing to tolerate. If the negativity becomes toxic, you do not argue. You simply remove your presence. You say, "I can see you are upset. Let's talk when things are calmer." And you walk away. By withdrawing your attention, you punish the chaotic behavior. You teach them that chaos leads to isolation, while calm leads to connection. The myth that needs to be destroyed is that being stoic means being unfeeling. This is the robot fallacy. A thermostat is not broken. It is highly sensitive. It knows exactly what the temperature is, but it has a job to do. Being a high-value man does not mean you are a sociopath who feels nothing. It means you feel the anger, you feel the fear, you feel the sadness, but you do not let those feelings drive the bus. You sit in the driver's seat, and the emotions sit in the back. They can scream all they want, but you determine the destination. Consider the archetype of the captain during a storm. The passengers are panicking. The crew is looking for direction. If the captain runs around screaming, "We are going to die!" the ship is lost. The captain feels the fear of death just as acutely as the passengers, but he forces his voice to be steady. He forces his hands to be still. He sets the tone of competence. Because he is calm, the crew executes their duties. Because he is calm, the passengers stop screaming. He has transferred his state of control to the entire vessel. You are the captain of your life. Your partner and your family are the passengers. They are looking at your face to see if they should be scared. Do not show them fear. Show them the thermostat. This applies to positive emotions as well. A thermostat does not just prevent freezing, it prevents overheating. When you are in a group that is low energy, bored, or depressive, you do not sink to their level. You bring your own energy. You speak with volume. You introduce enthusiasm. You force the room to rise to your level. You will notice that within minutes, people perk up. They start smiling. They feed off your battery. This is charisma. Charisma is simply the transfer of a high-energy state to a lower-energy receiver. Ultimately, your internal reality is the only thing you truly own. The stock market will fluctuate, people will leave, health will fade, the weather will change. If your sense of well-being is tied to these external variables, you will always be a victim. You will always be the thermometer, fluctuating wildly based on circumstances beyond your control. But if you cultivate a core of iron, a set point that you determine, you become invincible. You become the gravity well that organizes the chaos around you. The takeaway is simple. Stop asking for permission to feel good. Stop waiting for the world to become peaceful before you find peace. The peace must start inside the fortress. Start today. The next time someone tries to drag you into their storm, plant your feet. Deepen your breath. Set your dial to cool. Watch how they break upon your shore. Watch how they eventually calm down, drawn into the safety of your stability. You are the thermostat. The world adjusts to you.
Not the other way around.